Hey everybody, I want to share with you all my overall experience in law school so far and whether or not I would recommend law school to someone who's thinking about going. Okay, so let's start out with my overall experience in law school. So my overall experience in law school is, number one, I had to make a lot of personal sacrifices. So what does that mean? That really means that I could not hang out with a lot of my friends that I made in California, which boils down to a lot of people I've met at the Orange County GOP, friends I met at church, and also a church group called Amplify. It wasn't a situation where I was trying to choose law school over my personal life, because you should always have a balance, right? You don't want to go crazy with work. However, I've noticed that I had no choice but to make that sacrifice, because if I didn't, I probably would have failed. Because law school will weed you out if you're not on your game every step of the way, and even the slightest mess up and you're done for. So I had to make sure that I was focused and disciplined throughout the whole journey, my first year of law school. And the same thing still holds true for today. But of course, with COVID, things are pretty hairy. So number one was personal sacrifice. I really had to focus on my education. I had to delete all of my social media apps because that was all pure distractions. So I would say number two would be that I had to understand what the curve is in law school. So law school is not based off where you just turn your exam in or your essay in and those teachers will grade you on how well you did. No, it's a competition. So basically everyone in your classroom is at competition with each other. So I had a class for 22 people. We had 22 people in our class, and basically everyone had to compete against each other to get that A. So if you want an A, only one person in the class can get an A. If you want an A minus, only one person in the class can get an A minus. And if you want a B plus, only one person get a B plus. And then once you get a C, about 10 people in the class can get a C. So everyone was competing against each other to have the best written essay and also the best multiple choice score in order to get that one A. Because obviously in law school, the goal is to get a really high GPA, right? So that was very stunning to me. It was very scary, because if I was not on my game 24/7, I would not be able to get good grades. So that was another thing that I was pretty shocked about. So number one, personal sacrifice. And number two was sharpening my discipline skills so I can beat the curve and get those high grades. So I would say number three would be that it was very rewarding because I was able to learn about the law. I was able to learn how complex it is and how rich it is to know what it means and to be involved with other students in my class and professors to see different perspectives on life and also the law. And being involved with the Orange County PD's office and DA's office was also a big blessing to me too, because I was able to work with attorneys and understand criminal law better, because that's what I want to do with my life, is practice criminal law. So I would say that law school can be both rewarding, but it can be very, very hard at the same time. And if you're not willing to make that personal sacrifice, I don't know what to tell you. So I guess the next step is, would I recommend anyone to go to law school? In my opinion, and again, someone could tell you something otherwise, but if you're asking for my opinion, I would not recommend someone to go to law school. I wouldn't give that someone a recommendation unless they have a passion for it. If you know deep down in your bones, deep down in your heart, that you will not be happy in life until you're an attorney, then you should probably go to law school. It'll be worth it. But if you don't have that feeling, if it isn't in here and it isn't in here, that passion, don't go. Because the work really is that hard. That personal sacrifice really is, it's disappointing. Because I miss my friends. I miss I miss Amplify. I miss the church. I miss that free time that I had during undergrad, because law school made undergrad look like kindergarten. It really did. It still is looking like kindergarten compared to what I'm doing right now as we speak. Furthermore, law school is very expensive. Okay, it depends what school you go to, but if you go to a regionally well-known law school, it'll be about 40 to 50K. But if you're going to Stanford, Yale, Harvard, you're going to pay $100,000 per year to go to that school. And at the end, you're going to be well over $150,000 in debt. So you have to ask yourself that question as well. Is that, hey, am I willing to do the work? Am I willing to take out the loans and be in debt for the next 20, 30 years? And am I willing to continue this path in my life? Because once you graduate from law school and you pass the bar and get your job, it doesn't get any easier, because as an attorney, you're dealing with people's lives at that point, right? As a law student, you can mess up, right? Because you're just messing up your own life at that point. But once you're an attorney, people's lives are in your hands. And it's really up to you on whether or not you're going to save their lives, or if you're going to be kind of lazy and slack off and screw them. So you're going to be working about 60 to 70 hours per week, if not more, if you're at a private firm. And fair enough, you'll make a decent amount of money, that's true. But is working that many hours per week worth it if the passion isn't there? Is taking out that many loans really worth it if the passion isn't there? Is it really justice towards your clients if the passion isn't there? I don't think so. So think about that. Don't do it because you want to be rich. Don't do it for the glory. Because when you say, oh, I'm in law school, or oh, I'm a lawyer, you look very impressive upon people in society. Because even when I say I'm in law school, people have these big-eyed looks like, oh my gosh, you must be intelligent. And it's like, I appreciate the respect and the support, but I'm doing this because I have a why. And as most of you may know, is I'm doing this for my dad, for my uncle. I'm doing it for God. I'm doing it because it's something that I truly want to do with my life. And I'm willing to make these sacrifices in order to achieve that goal. So that's why I won't do it. I'm not doing it for the money or for the glory. So I'm just expressing that if you're doing it for the money or the glory, don't go to law school. Because the stress will weed you out. Those loans will be on your shoulders probably for the rest of your life. And I don't think it's justice towards your clients to serve them in that kind of way because, hey, you just want to make a quick buck. So that is basically my overall experience in law school. And that is advice I'd hand down to a law student, or at least a potential law student who's thinking about going to law school. So if you have any questions, comment below. I will answer your questions. And if you happen to have any other questions or concerns, you can also message me as well. Thank you.